a major milestone for Ukraine amid the war with Russia. The United States has approved sending F-16 fighter jets to Ukraine. Just a quick backgrounder here before I go on. Ukraine has long asked for this fourth-generation warplane, aiming to get an edge over Russia's air superiority in the war. But what does this really mean for Ukraine's counteroffensive? Can the F-16s actually help Ukraine win air dominance? Will they help Kyiv fend off Russian aggression? And most importantly, will this satisfy Ukraine's endless appetite for Western war machinery? We will explore all of that in just a bit. Let's first get you an update on what's happening on the ground. On Friday morning, Russia temporarily halted operations in 4 major Moscow airports following an alleged drone strike on the capital city. 7 flights were diverted because of the closures of Moscow's Vnukovo, Domodedovo, Sheremetyevo and Zhukovsky airports. Russian air defenses shot down a drone over the capital city overnight. Debris from the drone, in fact, fell into an exhibition center, as per reports, about 5 kilometers east of the Kremlin. It caused no significant damage, but this is the 3rd time in the past month that this district of Moscow has been struck by drone debris. The Russian Defense Ministry has blamed Ukraine and called it another terrorist attack. Meanwhile, Ukraine has not commented on the incident. The war-torn country is currently carrying out its counter-offensive operation, a campaign to take back many of its territories under Moscow's control. In recent weeks, in fact, Ukraine has ramped up those attempts to target Moscow with drone strikes. In late July, the Kremlin described them as Ukraine's acts of desperation. The Kremlin says it is a result of Ukraine's failure to make significant gains in the counteroffensive. Indeed, Ukraine has suffered heavy losses in its push to dislodge Russian forces from its territory. They have lost weapons, heavy gear, vehicles, troops. And so this new development is significant. A big decision by the US that will surely give Ukraine a big firepower boost amid its counteroffensive. Ukraine will now be getting F-16 fighter jets. The state-of-the-art warplanes will be delivered to Ukraine from Denmark and the Netherlands. And Washington has assured that the transfers will go through as soon as the training of the Ukrainian pilots on these next-gen warplanes is completed. Now, this is good news for Kyiv. For over a year now, they have asked for these very warplanes. But so far, the Biden administration had ruled out sending these American-made jets to Ukraine. The White House has been hesitant to approve such a request, mainly due to the fear of escalating a direct confrontation with Russia. But Ukraine kept pushing and pushing. They believe that the F-16s will be the answer to all their battle woes. Of course, F-16s provide for a high-performance weapon system. They are the most efficient and well-tested 4th-generation multi-mission fighter jets. They have sophisticated radars that can spot targets from hundreds of miles away, potentially allowing the pilots to fire weaponry while remaining at a safe distance from the target. They are deadly, highly maneuverable, and known to bring pilots home alive, and they can also be equipped with anti-ship missiles. But you see, there are limits to F-16s as well. Also doubts over how much they can actually help Ukraine. You see, F-16s are unlikely to dramatically change the course of the war. Last month, Ukraine said its pilots will complete training on them by March 2024. Since Ukraine cannot afford to take too many pilots away from the battlefield, it will probably take several months before Ukraine is actually able to use the F-16s in the war against Ukraine. US officials also privately say F-16s would be of little help to Ukraine in its current counteroffensive. They might not be game changers when they eventually arrive. Also, Ukraine's counteroffensive is meeting stiff resistance from the Russian forces. Now, before the F-16s, Ukraine had been demanding Western battle tanks. They were supposed to be game changers for Ukraine. But visuals released by the Russian Defense Ministry over the past few weeks show these Western tanks and vehicles blown to smithereens. Russian forces have destroyed countless German Leopard tanks, as per reports, as well as American Bradley vehicles. Not just that, Russia has also planted landmines in much of occupied Ukrainian soil, making it dangerous and costly for the Ukrainian soldiers to attempt to take back territory on foot. And therefore, the transfer of the F-16s is a welcome development for war-weary Ukraine. It will relatively improve Ukraine's air defenses. Whether or not they prove to be game changers, we will have to wait and see. WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the updates on the move.